Venom, Let There Be Carnage is an Andy Serkis movie and once again stars Tom Hardy as the character Eddie Brock. Taking place sometime after the first film, Eddie Brock is caught in the mix of a crime case involving serial killer Cletus Cassidy. So the first Venom movie from 2018 is a film that I felt could have been much better. I guess you can say I'm not a fan of the style these movies go for. They mix a lot of dark humor with tons of action, and I never really found the humor all that funny. I also never liked the idea that Eddie and Venom are two separate components that can both think for themselves. It makes more sense to have Eddie and Venom be one distinct entity, but of course they went in that route for comedy purposes, which I can understand. What I'm mainly trying to say is that I prefer a serious tone for the Venom character, whereas these movies have taken it more lightly, and I think these movies could be a lot better if it was much more serious. And if you enjoyed the first movie, you're really going to enjoy Let There Be Carnage, but if you didn't like the ideas that the first film presented, I highly doubt that you'll enjoy this movie. I felt the first movie was fine, and I feel the same exact way about Venom, Let There Be Carnage. There are some positives, there are some negatives, there are some enjoyable scenes, and there are some scenes that I have no idea why they're in the film, but the main thing for me with these movies is that they both could have been so much better than they actually are, but at the same time, still enjoyable. I do like how Let There Be Carnage is darker, it's more sadistic than the first movie. A lot of that has to do with the new addition of Cletus Cassidy, aka Carnage, played to a T by Woody Harrelson. This was a role that Woody Harrelson was meant to play, and I feel he did the absolute best job he could have ever done with what he was given. I do like Tom Hardy once again as Eddie Brock. I can never complain about seeing Tom Hardy on the screen. He's one of my favorite actors, and as the character Eddie Brock, he was meant to play this guy. I think he does a really good job. The violence in Let There Be Carnage nearly crosses the PG-13 line. It closely approaches the R rating, but doesn't quite get there. I wish they made both the first one and Let There Be Carnage rated R. I have no idea why Marvel is so afraid to make any of their movies R-rated besides Deadpool, which was 20th Century Fox before it became Disney. So overall, it's a better movie in terms of the action, violence, the main villain. And if you're wondering if there is a mid or post-credit scene, there is a mid-credit scene in Venom, and my oh my, it is absolutely one of the best mid-credit scene I've seen this entire year. So overall, I think I slightly like Let There Be Carnage more than the first film because of the violence and Woody Harrelson and that mid-credit scene. But there are a couple of things missing that made the first movie better in other ways. Like for one, I wish we had more Michelle Williams in Let There Be Carnage. She is partially the reason why I enjoyed the first movie. And because of her screen presence along with Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock on the screen, it made the movie feel more personal, like it was not just solely focused on Venom and Eddie's relationship. It was more so a personal movie for the character Eddie. We certainly don't get that the second time around. It seems more focused on the crime aspect of this story. It doesn't really help that Let There Be Carnage for some reason is only an hour and 30 minutes. The first movie was almost 2 hours long, and this movie just rushes through the entire thing. We only get about a half hour to 45 minutes of Cletus Cassidy, and that's it. I thought he would be at least in half of the film, but the characters and storylines don't have enough room to breathe in Let There Be Carnage because of that short runtime. I have serious questions about the runtime for Let There Be Carnage. Why was this movie a half hour shorter than the first one? It should have been longer than the first one. But again, we do have a great addition of Woody Harrelson, who replaces the bad villain from the first movie, along with some really good violence and action and some solid humor in Let There Be Carnage. But of course, this movie, like the first one, is nothing to write home about. I'm giving Venom, Let There Be Carnage a 64%. I believe that's a 5% upgrade over my score for the first film. Again, though, I have no idea why they never went above and beyond to make the absolute greatest Venom movies that they possibly could. It makes zero sense. I hope one day we get a very serious, dark, R-rated Venom movie, but we'll probably have to wait a really long time for that. Alright, for those of you who also happen to see Venom, Let There Be Carnage, be sure to let me down below in the comment section what your thoughts are of it. And of course, as always, if you are new to my channel, click the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.